Thank you. And it's a distinct pleasure and honor to be here. The Bahamians in the room, I hope I don't embarrass any of you. For those of you not from the Bahamas, it doesn't matter. But I run an organization that is responsible for the management of the national park system of the Bahamas. So we obviously interact constantly with this industry, and lots of questions always asked about, how much is too much? I mean, obviously people want to go after the pretty places. They want to be on beaches. They want to be next to areas that offer incredible beauty. At the same time, those are areas that more than likely define nature by what exists there. And so, these were some of the words that came to us from the organizers in talking about our region's cultural and natural assets. Does the interest of tourists get advanced above the interest of our people? When do we reach the point of exploitation versus the point of, sustainable development? And how have we used or overused our Caribbean's intrinsic resources, our culture, our people, our environment? And without exploitation, where does this region go? Does it have an opportunity to create tourism opportunities? The Bahamas has a strong ocean legacy. We've been attached to the ocean. That's an old sponging vessel. Sponge of money never done. The older Bahamians in the room will remember. And we're so linked because of food. We're linked because of culture. Our family island regattas throughout our country celebrate our old sailing sloop history. So we are a people that's been linked to the ocean forever. Before there were planes, our people traveled on those sloops for days between islands. God help you if the wind dropped. You're stuck there for days trying to get between Harbor Island and Nassau. But there are opportunities. So yes, as the court, she was in charge of the session. As she spoke about, I think the bravery of CTO to even put something like this, a topic like this, in this conference, because it seems diametrically opposed to what this industry is doing. We're in an incredibly large, wonderful hotel property that has a huge environmental footprint, but we still have to have these discussions. But even though there are places like this, there are still incredible opportunities for, investing in the natural capital of our islands. Fly fishing, bone fishing, with people like Captain Benry Smith shown here. It's $100+ million industry in islands where people can own the industry. I know we have at least one bonefish lodge owner, a small lodge owner in this audience today, and it's the opportunity for ownership, the opportunity to still utilize our natural capital. Sharks, we protected our sharks in 2011, becoming the first shark sanctuary in the Caribbean. We won international awards. A couple of weeks ago, we won Shark Tank versus Shark Week that brought our organization $250,000 in funding for marine conservation, and that's linked back to the fact that we did protection, but you still have incredible opportunities for dive tourism in this industry. Wonderful opportunities for incredible economic opportunities in national parks, tourism-based opportunities, even when it's linked to large industries and properties like this property, or there's another large one down the road. They might want me to call the name because we're in Atlantis, but Bahamas type thing. But there are incredible opportunities to pull people from those type of resorts into our national parks and still have an incredible experience. The Exuma Keys Land and Sea Park, the oldest land and sea park in the world, one of the most incredibly beautiful places on the planet. Yes, we have to strike a balance between natural beauty, protecting the resource, and of course allowing for people to enjoy it, and still protects the resource without necessarily overexploiting. We have partners here with the Ministry of Tourism we work with on nature-based tourism, incredible flamingos in Inagua, establishing carrying capacity. Do you want 10,000 people out looking at flamingos on a Friday evening? Absolutely not, but certainly 10 or 20 every day sustains a very small economy without exploiting necessarily the resource. Then you come to Lighthouse Point. This is consuming me. This is my life right now. Lighthouse Point is one of the most beautiful places in the Caribbean. Disney Cruise Line has decided that they want to make this special place into, I guess, the 8th private island destination in our country. Our organization and lots of other organizations are fighting this. This is when I think you go beyond utilizing a resource, the absolute commoditization and over-exploitation. So this is something that we face as environmentalists. How do we strike this balance, and how do we say to our decision makers, like the Honorable Minister of Tourism, who's going to be very involved in making this decision that either saves this place or sends it to hell, as far as we're concerned, away from public use and public enjoyment and away from national patrimony. It's private land, they want to buy it. We have people who want to buy it for conservation and sustainable development. We will create the same amount of jobs as a cruise port, more sustainable jobs, and but again, decision makers are faced with decisions as to what's going to have the maximum impact long term for the economy. So yes, commoditization without exploitation. Are we giving up too much of us? I mean, it's really about a balance. Are we giving up too much of us as a people, too much of us as a resource, too much of us as a culture, too much of us as a Caribbean? And that's really the decision that we have to make as we try and develop these fragile isles scattered throughout the Caribbean Sea. I mean, in the Caribbean Sea, you all don't even want us there, but we're still part of the Caribbean, and we're honored to be a part of this conference. So thank you very much. I hope I haven't gone over my time.